Namaste and hello. Welcome to the Art of Yoga project. My name's Jerome. Thanks for taking the time to practice with me here today. We're going to go over an introduction to meditation. Two parts that we want to cover. We're going to cover the why we meditate and the how we meditate. So let's get started. First, we want to ground into our mat. So just noticing the weight in our body. We want to make sure that when we're practicing with a tall spine. We're making space to breathe. So first thing we're going to do is a small warm-up. I'm going to roll my wrists out. Just inhaling through the nose. You can exhale through the nose. Go ahead and switch directions. Inhale. Exhale. And just alternating at your own rhythm. You can start to look around the room, notice the space that you're in. Start to get comfortable in this space. Maybe you notice the temperature of the floor underneath you. Notice the temperature of the air around you. Okay, let's go into shoulder shrugs. Inhaling shoulders up to your ears and exhaling shoulders back and down. We'll just do this a couple times, connecting our breath to the movement. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, shoulders up, and exhale, shoulders down. Let's do 3 more in and out. Inhale and exhale. Last time. Breathing in, shoulders up to the ears, and exhaling back down. Good. Now let's do a small neck roll just to get comfortable. Remember, we want to feel comfortable in the space. So I'm going to start with my chin down. I'm going to inhale, right ear to right shoulder. And as I come around, exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Inhaling, right ear, right shoulder. And exhale, left ear, left shoulder. One more time like that. Exhale. Now I'll switch directions. Left ear, left shoulder. Inhale. Exhale. Last time around, inhaling and exhale. Good. Now, let's go into a couple movements here. This is one that you might know from Art of Yoga project. This is called Breath of Joy. So just sitting up nice and tall, I'm going to do a 3-part breath. First, I'm going to inhale with my chest open. I'm going to inhale, lift my arms up, and I'm going to exhale, bring my hands out to center. So we'll do this a few times. Inhale, up, and out. Inhale, up, and out. Inhale, up, and out. We'll do one more. Inhale, up, and out. Good. Next part, we'll do a shoulder opener. These are called eagle arms. So what I'll do is I'll take my left elbow and I'll take my right elbow on the inside. Now my palms are touching. I'll feel a stretch in my shoulder blades as I inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Last time. And as I inhale, I feel my shoulder blades kind of expanding on the back. And as I exhale, I feel the movement in my shoulder blades. Go ahead and unwind. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. Right elbow, left elbow dropping on the top. Palms are touching, backs of the hands touching. 3 breaths here, inhaling. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Last time. And exhale, unwind. Good job. Now, let's move on to a seated crescent. Now, seated crescent. I'm going to inhale my arms over the head. I'm going to exhale. As I exhale, I want the stretch in my right side body. Make sure your right glute isn't picking up off of your mat. You want to make sure that both sit bones are in the ground and I'm breathing through my right side body. Inhale back to center and exhale nice and tall. One more time. Inhale and we're going to the right. Be careful not to let that left sit bone pick up off of the mat. Make sure we're grounding and breathing into the left side body now. One more inhale. And exhale, come back to center. Good. Now, I want to talk a little bit about meditation. In our society, in our culture, it's more about dealing with stress, not the elimination of stress. When you're dealing with stress, you're meditating in order to better handle stress that comes in to your day, or maybe you're in a current situation that's feeling very difficult, and a good way to manage some of that stress is to breathe. I don't want you to think that this is going to be about removing stress out of your life, because if we spend the time trying to remove the stress out of your life, you're going to constantly be digging and digging and digging. So what we really want to do is acknowledge that stress exists in our life and that we're using the tools in yoga to help us deal with some of that stress. The other part of meditation, that was the why. So the second part of meditation that we're going to focus on is the how. So I mentioned breathing. Using a breathing technique helps us ground in the present moment instead of thinking about the future, worrying about the future, or dwelling on the past. So breathing grounds us into the present. Breathing also extends the time between a trigger or a stimulant and the time that it takes for our mind to react. So something happens and I quickly get angry. Instead, when I do meditation, something happens and then I have some time to formulate a thought, gather my emotions, and then react to the situation. So that's why I like meditation. Okay. I'm going to talk about 2 things that help us when we meditate. So the how, we're still on the how, the breathing, the separation between the trigger and our reaction. Now, when that time expands, it gets longer, we're able to recognize 1, old patterns, and 2, we're able to choose a new habit to the same trigger. So when we take an old pattern and we rewire a new habit, that's when we start to see healing. So we're going to do a quick check-in. I want to notice the way I'm feeling today and allow for that emotion, whether it's a negative emotion or maybe it's a positive emotion that you want to share with others. Just notice what it is and allow yourself to be that. Now, my check-in question. Is there a time in your life that you constantly come back to as a source of anger, resentment, or frustration? Follow-up question to that, is there an old pattern that you're holding on to that's holding you back from growing as a person? So just thinking about those two things. Am I constantly coming back to an old pattern? Is that old pattern holding me back from growing, taking the next step towards something? So for our meditation today, it's going to be an 8-minute meditation. Don't worry, we're going to split it up into chunks. So the first 2 minutes, we're going to start on our back with our feet on the floor. After that 2 minutes has passed, we're going to continue meditating, but we're going to shift into butterfly. So butterfly is going to be with my feet together, knees open this way. Everything's on our back today. Okay? Excuse me, let's rewind. We're going to go into a twist first, both sides, and then butterfly. The last 2 minutes is going to be Shavasana. So 2 minutes on our back with our feet on the floor. 2 minutes in a twist. Okay? 2 minutes in butterfly. And then 2 minutes just laying back in Shavasana. All right, before we get started, we're going to do one small twist. I'm going to straighten my right leg. And then I'm going to pick up my left foot and bring it over the top of my right knee. Let's post with our left hand, and the right elbow comes to the left knee. Let's take a deep inhale here, and then look over our left shoulder. I'm going to be here for 3 breaths. Exhaling, twisting deeper. On the inhale, allowing our spine to get tall. One more deep inhale. And exhale, twist. Good. Let's go ahead and untwist and go to the other side. So I have my left foot out straight, right foot comes over the top. Posting right hand, and I'm taking my left elbow into my right knee. Go ahead and take a nice deep breath, and then exhale into the twist. Take one more deep inhale. Exhale as you twist deeper. Okay, go ahead and untwist out of that. Good. Again, reminder, we're doing an 8-minute meditation. We're going to be moving every 2 minutes. And then let me prime your brain for what we're going to do during that meditation. We're focusing on breathing, but since we're new at it, there are going to be thoughts that are coming up. I want you to allow these thoughts to come up. When this happens, I want you to notice the thought, and I want you to identify it. Is it an old pattern? Is it anger? Is it frustration? Is it resentment towards someone? Is it a situation that I'm always coming back to? Just identify it. Okay? Once you've identified the thought, we're not going to continue with the thought. We're going to acknowledge the thought, identify it, and then let it go and come back to your breath. So if I start to get frustrated or distracted, I'm going to notice I'm getting distracted by this. I'm acknowledging it, and then I'm mindfully taking my next breath. I think about the breath in, and I think about the breath out. I'm going to do that again. Repeat the cycle. And then thoughts are going to come in, and I'm going to get distracted again. Notice what the thought is that's distracting me. And then I want to let it go. Identify it, and then come back to the breath. Okay, let's get started. So I'm going to quickly demonstrate what I want to see with your meditation. My feet are on the floor, and I'm laying back on my shoulders. Good, just like this. Now I can place my left hand on my belly and my right hand goes on my chest. And I'm just inhaling deeply. Start to let your body relax into the space, onto the mat that you're on. Now I'm going to have you stay in that position and I'm going to sit up so that we can have a guided meditation. I'll start my timer here for you. And let's begin. Inhaling deep in through the nose, allowing your belly to fill with air. And then exhaling out of the nose. Remember allowing the thoughts that are distracting you to come up, identify them, and then come back to your breath. You can start to notice how your body feels as you're breathing. You might be getting frustrated right away, or you might be able to find some relaxation. Does it feel good when you take a breath in? How does it feel on the way out? Are you feeling like it's uncomfortable to take an exhale? Or are your exhales even with your inhales? Feel your belly as you breathe in. Notice that it's making more space for your body to take in air. Just another 20 seconds on our back with our feet on the floor. Take another deep inhale. Good. Let me demonstrate the next posture. So my feet are on the floor, my knees are bent. I'm going to take a deep inhale. I'm going to take my knees to the right. Keep both shoulders on the ground. I don't want the shoulder to pick up. I want to stay on the mat, eyes looking up. Just settle here for 1 minute. I'll let you know when it's time to switch. You'll notice a stretch here in this posture. Nice twist for your low back. Remember, we're focused on the breath and any sensations in our body, the present moment. When things come up in the present moment in my mind, I want you to remember the technique we learned earlier. Identify what the thought is, let it go, and come back to the breath. You might be concerned about time, how much time has passed. Acknowledge that. And know that we have a set amount of time. We're meditating for 8 minutes. So try to be with the breath. Go ahead and switch to the other side. Bring your knees up to center. Take a deep breath. And then exhale. Switch to the left. Another 30 seconds in this pose. Without the worry of what comes next. Enjoying the breath in. Allowing the body to relax on the exhale. Take 2 more breaths and then we'll switch to butterfly. Okay, let's go ahead and move a little bit. Bring your knees back to center. For butterfly, you can keep your shoulders resting on the mat, and we're going to bring our feet together. So from this first starting pose, I'm just going to allow my knees to open to either side, and the heels, balls of my feet, and arches touching. Let's continue to keep one hand on the belly and one on the chest. You can alternate if you like, or you can stack hands on top, here or here. Relax the face. Go ahead and take a deep inhale. Two minutes in this position. We're almost there. Some of the things that are happening in this present moment, we're in this butterfly pose. You can notice the difference between twisting and butterfly. You can notice the difference between laying with your feet up on the floor as opposed to touching together. What's happening in butterfly? My hips are starting to open. Maybe I feel some tension on the sides of my legs. Inside the pelvis might be starting to stretch and open up. It might start to become uncomfortable. When that happens, we're going to stay in the posture, be in the present, be with that emotion of discomfort, and use the breath to get through it. You're practicing the trigger and the reaction. This is uncomfortable if it's new for us. Let's just stay in the posture and use our breath. See what happens. Another 30 seconds in butterfly, and then we'll come to Shavasana. Another 2 deep breaths. And now our last posture, Shavasana. So I was in butterfly with my feet together. Now we're allowing ourselves to straighten our legs. We can rest our hands down by our side or take any hand position that you feel comfortable in. Allow the shoulders to melt into the mat. Your hips are supported by the ground. The back of the head rests so that the jaw is relaxed. The neck and throat can relax. The eyebrows are unfurling. The tension in the tops of the legs can release. Come back to the breath. One technique that I use when I start to get antsy or anxious, I'll start to count my breaths. So here in the last part of the meditation, we're going to count 10 breaths. So inhaling through the nose and exhaling. Deep inhale. And exhale 2. Deep inhale. Exhale 4. Slow down the inhale. Even with the exhale. One more time in. Exhale 6. One more inhale. Exhale 8. And last time. Exhale 10. Now that 8-minute meditation might have turned into 10 minutes. I apologize for that. But again, observing the way our body feels, not worrying about what time has passed. You just set a timer, allow yourself the 8 minutes or the 10 minutes or the 30 breaths, whatever it is that you set for that time, and be in the present. Now I have a checkout question for you. How often did your old pattern come up? Was there a thought pattern or situation that kept coming up in your mind over and over again? And again, how often did that old pattern come up? I want to invite you to journal about this if it's something that you need to spend more time on. But for today, we'll end the practice here. Thank you for practicing here at Art of Yoga Project, and thank you for showing up today. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste.